Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Thank you for joining us tonight. 6 New York correctional facilities are set to close next year, including the maximum security prison in Southport. The announcement comes as the state's prison population continues to decline. But as Big Fox's Matt Kleindienst explains, some local leaders are not on board with the plan.
That's right, Jennifer. Local leaders have voiced their opposition since plans to close the Southport Prison were announced on Monday. One county legislator I spoke with said closing the facility would have negative downstream effects.
I knew they were going to close prisons, but I didn't hear Southport or Elmira talked about.
Chemung County legislator Rodney Strange was stunned to learn the state's plan to close Southport Prison next year. He says he learned the news on Facebook when correctional officer friends of his were posting about looking for new jobs.
First, I thought it was a joke, and then as I kept reading the comments, I realized something was happening.
The Department of Corrections says the reasons behind the closing of the 6 prisons include infrastructure, program offerings, security, and specialized medical services. Southport has been operational for nearly 30 years and recently underwent a $20 million renovation.
I was hoping that, given the fact that they were investing in that facility, that it was not going to be one on a chopping block.
The 400 workers at Southport will have an opportunity to transfer to another facility. However, Strange says the employees he's spoken with are hesitant to relocate. Strange also says the decision could impact the local economy.
It's going to not only impact the jobs in a personal way for those who are directly affected, but it's going to have an offspin on businesses that are around this area.
Strange says the Chemung County legislature plans on passing a resolution opposing the prison's closing. Southport is expected to close by March 10th. Matt Kleindienst, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
Police have identified the victim of a fatal stabbing near Elmira College. On Friday, 46-year-old Natum White was stabbed at 500 College Avenue and later died from his injuries. When police arrived at the scene, they found a woman trying to provide first aid to White. Police are talking with that woman about the incident and say they're not looking for other people at this time. The investigation is still ongoing. An investigation is underway after an overnight house fire on the south side of Elmira. Monday night, firefighters were called to 70 Franklin Street. Nearby streets were closed off as the crews put out the flames. Authorities say 3 people were in the house at the time the fire started, and they were all able to safely escape. The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. Access to COVID-19 boosters could soon be expanding in a big way. David Lee Miller explains.
Right now, only people over 65 or at high risk are eligible for COVID vaccine boosters, but that could be changing. Pfizer says the company plans to ask the FDA for permission to expand access, offering boosters to anyone 18 years or older, potentially bringing another layer of protection as the holidays approach.
The booster shot, the third dose, is the one that gives very, very high level of protection, higher than the originally achieved levels of protection, which was 95%.
If the request is approved, it would go a long way toward meeting the Biden administration's goal of boosters for all adults. But it also comes as the battle over mandates is heating up, with the White House asking a federal court to lift an order blocking its rule that businesses with 100 employees or more require vaccines for workers.
The administration clearly has the authority to protect workers, and actions announced by the president are designed to save lives and stop the spread of COVID-19.
But cities and states are also moving ahead with their own mandates, including Los Angeles, where most businesses are now requiring proof of vaccination from employees and customers.
We shouldn't be told that we're going to lose our jobs, that we're going to lose our freedoms, that our children aren't going to be able to go to school.
The deadline for companies to comply with the federal mandate was set for January 4th. It's not clear if that will change as the legal challenges move forward. In New York, David Lee Miller, Fox News.
4-year-old twin boys are taking part in a nationwide Moderna COVID-19 vaccine trial. Moderna is trying to get approval for a vaccine for children ages 6 months to 5 years old. Evan Peterson has the story.
Where are you going?
4-year-old boys Sam and Theo Rodriguez aren't like most kids their age.
Are you ready? Good job.
But their recent decision to participate in the Moderna vaccine trial for children between the ages of 6 months old to 5 years makes them unique among their peers.
Big poke. Big breath. Here then.
by spring, we all of the adults were able to get vaccinated, and actually our kids were asking why they couldn't.
Ann Rodriguez, the boy's mother, says while the decision to have them participate in these trials was made by the family, ultimately it was the boys saying they wanted to get their shots too that made her get them involved.
In 4-year-old terms, they think about it that they got the shot first to help the rest of their friends in 4K to be able to get it too.
A line of selfless thinking doctors with UW Health, the group overseeing this part of the trial, says could help save lives.
By them stepping up to the plate, they're going to help protect their classmates and their community. Each of the children will receive 2 shots, just as the adults who received Moderna had received. It's a smaller dose, but still it's done in 2 shots.
The trial lasts 14 months and requires significant observation during that time.
We've been vaccinating children forever. In this case, yes, this is a new vaccine, but it's an old platform.
Ultimately resulting in more conversations with their pediatrician. Conversations this mother says all parents should consider having with their child's doctor.
I would encourage parents to not let their questions go unanswered.
The leading killer of police officers on the force today is not gunfire or traffic accidents. It is COVID-19. Nationwide, more than 250 officers have died from COVID-19 so far this year, including more than 20 in the month of October alone. According to a national database of law enforcement deaths, COVID-19 deaths are responsible for 65% of all deaths on police forces this year, and more have died from coronavirus than all other causes combined. That includes motorcycle and automobile crashes, stabbings, training accidents, weather, and shootings. This comes as some police unions nationwide are fighting requirements that members get vaccinated. Broadway is extending its mask and vaccine requirements. Guests ages 12 and older will still need to show proof of full vaccination with the last dose at least 14 days prior, and they must provide a photo ID or school ID for minors. Attendees under 12 will need to show proof of at least 1 dose of an approved vaccine administered at least 14 days prior to the performance or a negative COVID test within 72 hours. These policies are in effect at all 41 Broadway theaters through at least February 28th of 2022. A criminal investigation continues following the deaths of 8 people at last week's Astroworld Festival. Civil lawsuits are now piling up against the event's promoter and rapper Travis Scott. Garrett Tenney reports.
The legal fallout is growing following the deaths of 8 people at a Houston music festival. Lawsuits have now been filed in Harris County. The event organizer, Live Nation Entertainment, as well as rapper Travis Scott, are named as defendants in most. NRG Stadium and Drake were named in at least one of the lawsuits. Some of those suits claim fans suffered both emotional distress and serious injuries from being trampled by the crowd.
When you look at the number of people who were killed or injured and the age of the people who were killed or injured, this is a sensitive population.
Those killed range in age from 14 to 27, and dozens more were injured in the chaos. Travis Scott announced Monday he'll cover all funeral costs for those who died. But an attorney for one of the victims says the rapper could have done so much more to ensure fans' safety at the concert.
Even in this particular concert, he had sent out tweets encouraging those who did not have tickets to come anyway, that he would, quote, sneak them in.
Houston's police department is leading a criminal probe into how the chaos erupted. The FBI has also joined the investigation. Law enforcement officials say they'll review whether those behind the festival followed safety plans submitted for the event.
A typical book will outline who's who, where they're posted, how they're working, what they're looking for. You have so many variables.
The Harris County Medical Examiner says while autopsies have been completed, it could still be several weeks before we know the exact causes of death. In Houston, I'm Garrett Tenney, Fox News.
The Biden administration admits it is studying the potential impact of shutting down a pipeline in Michigan just as gas prices continue to rise across the U.S. Griff Jenkins has the latest from Washington.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi leading a delegation of U.S. lawmakers to Glasgow, Scotland for the United Nations Climate Change Conference, where cutting fossil fuels is a top priority for climate activists.
We come here equipped, ready to take on the challenge, to meet the moment.
but putting pressure on energy producers sends prices skyward, and a key economic gauge out Tuesday shows wholesale prices jumping more than 8% over the past year. Republicans have criticized the Biden administration for months over inflation, and now a group of 11 Democrats are getting concerned too, reportedly writing a letter to the president asking him to find a way to get a handle on soaring gas prices.
We're monitoring the prices, and we're making sure that we have tools in our tool belt.
But now there are moves underway to potentially shut down an oil pipeline in Michigan. White House officials say the existing Line 5 pipeline, which moves millions of gallons of crude oil every day, is not being shut down, but they are looking at the impact of shutting down a future replacement.
And what they're doing is every regulation, every agency of government, every way they can to stifle and kill the fossil fuel industry.
Another complicating matter for the White House, the administration says Americans may have to pay more for heating this winter due to supply chain issues. In Washington, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, a city in California is looking at a new way to fight crime.
I'm looking at all the tools that we can to make sure that people are safe.
More on a new program that would allow deputies to tap into public and private camera systems to catch crimes, and why some worry this could be an invasion of privacy.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. It looks like our mild weather will be coming to an end as a storm system approaches, but don't worry, we have one more day where we can enjoy just this beautiful weather. It will be comfortable tomorrow, partly sunny skies, but it looks like by the end of the week, rain will return for your Friday, and then behind it, temperatures will be dropping, and so we are expecting a little bit cooler conditions for the weekend. So high pressure is building into the region. It will be cool tomorrow, at least a little bit cooler than today. However, we are expecting some sunshine, but then clouds will start to increase after Veterans Day as another storm system approaches. But here's a look at what you can expect for tomorrow. Temperatures in the 40s as we start off the early morning hours. We do warm up into the upper 50s, so it will be very seasonable with some sunshine and then just a few clouds in the evening. But it is going to be chilly if you're going to be heading out and about. You will need that jacket on Wednesday evening. But again, rain chances will start to increase. Those clouds will thicken up on Veterans Day, and then Friday through Sunday we have better rain chances as a system comes through. In fact, this trough will bring a much cooler air mass right into our area by the latter part of this weekend into the weekend. So initially there will be a few showers for your Friday, and then I think maybe there will be some breaks of rain on Sunday, but take a look at how this colder air behind a low pressure system that will be moving in, it will be quite frigid. In fact, we are expecting the possibility of some snow in portions of the state. So let's take a look at our future radar, where we're finding a few showers for the next couple of hours, and then that should be moving on by early tomorrow morning. We are expecting a dry day tomorrow. It will be a little bit cooler than today, and then on Veterans Day we are expecting just a few clouds to pass through our sky. Overall, though, it looks like we'll stay mainly dry throughout the day, and then on Friday I am expecting the shower activity to really increase. In fact, by Friday morning there will be a few showers, and it gets a little bit heavier in the afternoon before it all moves out. So here's a look at your forecast. Tonight it will be dry. Temperatures, well, except for the next few hours where we're going to have a few showers, but we do dip down into the 40s. Highs tomorrow around 56 degrees in Corning, 53 in Wayland, and 55 degrees in in Watkins Glen. Your extended forecast calls for chilly condition on Veterans Day with a high around 58. And then it looks like rain chances return for the end of the week. And it's going to be quite chilly this weekend with highs only in the 40s, and overnight lows will be dropping down into the 30s.
The U.S. may be reopened to visitors from other countries, but businesses near the borders didn't see a huge impact on day one. Steve Kiggins reports.
It's a community-driven business at this point, which is very cool. Canadians are a part of our community too, but it's really a community-driven business at its heart.
Fresh oysters, outdoors by the sea, not bad for a November lunch in Blaine. The owner of Drayton Harbor Oyster Company says his seafood fans are ready to make a comeback.
To see that excitement over just eating a couple frickin' oysters at an oyster bar, right? But they missed it that much. So, yeah, hopefully we see more of it.
But the comeback is so far still in the works. Downtown Blaine is not exactly hopping the day international land crossings resume after nearly 2 years of shutdowns.
It's going to be kind of an international twist idea.
Business owner Gary Slavin hopes to open Gateway 1890 Tap House and Grill in December. He also operates Rustic Fork restaurant across the street, and he needs Canadians flowing across the border for his investments to turn a profit.
I'm a little leery about it. Obviously, with the restrictions that they have coming down, with Canadians still having to test to go back, I can't see the daytime grab gas, grab milk, come down for the day type people coming for quite a while until they get rid of that testing.
Crossings into Canada requires both vaccination and proof of negative COVID tests, an expensive requirement that could turn a border reopening into a non-starter for local businesses. U.S. Representative Susan Delbene toured Blaine on Monday and says she hopes negotiations between neighboring nations can provide more clarity around testing requirements.
It's one thing when folks were flying by plane and were more likely to stay here for a few days, but now some people might be coming down just for a couple hours. So the hope is that folks could be able to come down and go back. Maybe they had a test before they even came into the U.S. and use that same test to go back.
Uncertainty is it a 1 day, is it a 2 day, 3 day thing, or are we going to get a big influx of folks consistently?
Seymour hopes today's trickle of tourists soon becomes a deluge of dollars. So do county leaders, saying North Sound economies depend on the Canadians.
I think this will at least gives us hope that by next spring or coming summer, people will have plans.
A new survey shows Americans are willing to take on more debt this year to make sure it's a very Merry Christmas for themselves. According to creditcards.com, 45% of shoppers are willing to spend extra to make themselves happy first. Then they'll spend on kids, partners, friends, and family. 60% of holiday gift givers who already have debt will add more. The average parent dropping $276 on each child and $251 on each other. Walmart is making strides with its autonomous delivery service. The retail giant and its partner Gatic says its driverless delivery trucks have successfully been on the road without a safety driver. This comes after the technology was approved to hit the road on its own in December 2020. The driverless vehicle has reportedly been driving on daily 7-mile delivery routes in Arkansas. The routes include intersections, traffic lights, and merging onto city roads. Company leaders claim driverless delivery could save as much as 30% on logistics costs. A city in California is considering a new program that would allow deputies to tap into public and private camera systems to catch a thief in progress. But some worry the program could be an invasion of privacy. Jason Sloss reports.
The city of Santee is looking at a new way to fight crime. Mayor John Minto says this city enjoys a low crime rate, and he's looking to keep it that way.
I'm looking at all the tools that we can to make sure that people are safe.
Santee's now considering a program that would allow the San Diego County Sheriff's Department to tap into public and private camera systems to help catch crime in progress. It's a program the Sheriff's Department rolled out last year in Lemon Grove. Here's how it works. Wherever cameras are used for the program, such as shopping centers, parks, and trails, and there's an incident reported, deputies get a call, and through their phones or computers, they can get instant video and a look at what's going on in the area in real time, possibly helping them spot a suspect or victim.
And see what's happening before the sheriff gets there. That way they know how urgent it is, and they also know that the sheriff might be able to approach from a different way so that it's safer for everybody that's going there.
Minto says businesses and residents would choose whether to take part in the program. He says so far he likes what he sees, but adds the city is concerned about privacy issues.
Our city attorney and our council members are very interested in making sure privacy is maintained, because we want tools, but we don't want them to be misused either.
Lieutenant Mike Rand helped launch the program in Lemon Grove, stressing it is not a surveillance program.
The only time it's going to be utilized, like I said, is if we have a call for service in the neighborhood or in the park, then we're going to pull up that call. But there's nobody that's watching to see what people are doing.
The city of Santee has not yet adopted the program, but Minto says there's a lot of support.
Neighbors are helping neighbors in Santee, and we just want to keep it that way.
The mayor says there'll be more discussion at a city council meeting next month. If it continues to move forward, there'll be more community outreach to get a better idea of how the public feels about the program.
State Farm is sticking by Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers despite calls to drop the athlete after he admitted he is not vaccinated against COVID-19. In a statement, the company's saying, in part, we don't support some of the statements he has made, but we respect his right to have his own personal point of view. Several of Rodgers' sponsors are facing pressure to drop the quarterback. Rodgers tested positive for COVID-19 and missed Sunday's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. A new TV series is helping high school students to virtually travel across America for an inside look at colleges and universities as they decide where to apply. Ashley Dvorkin has the story.
I first heard of Del Val through one of the football coaches.
The new series on Amazon's IMDb TV, The College Tour, offers high school students the opportunity to check out colleges and universities around the country from the comfort of their own home.
Every school is so different down to the people, the culture, the location. And so we just try to bring all that into a story that people can absorb. And, the biggest thing for us is that we want this to be free to watch for any student, parents, no matter where they live in the world.
The show launched back in October and aims to help families cut down the cost of visiting colleges in person.
The financial outlay for the average family to go outside of their state or outside, it's like $2,500, a lot of money for them to go and check out a new school. And so we feel like this series is allowing, whether it's the students to watch it on their phone or parents to sit back and watch it on their television screens, tour the country, right? And get a sense before you make that decision to jump on a plane or travel across.
Each episode tells the story of a different school in a unique way.
It's told in a very authentic way through the lens of real current students, sometimes alumni, and even faculty and staff. We are working with the university from the get-go. So in that casting process, it's just like casting any television, any reality show. And so we go out there and sometimes we have an idea that, we really want to tell the story of engineering or athletics or whatever it is about the university. And then we start looking for students who have great stories to tell.
Think of Davis as the middle of everywhere.
The College Tour Season 2 is available to stream now on IMDb TV, as well as the College Tour app and website.
We want to leave you with a smile tonight. This Missouri man will surely never question his wife again. The man purchased a lotto ticket during a recent drive home, all because his wife had persistently asked him for one. The annoyed husband, who wanted to get home and watch a football game, decided to make his wife happy and did what she wanted. That lotto ticket ended up matching all 6 numbers in the October 23rd drawing, adding up to a $2.4 million payout. Of course, not everyone will be so lucky. As experts say, your chances of hitting it big are 1 in over 3.5 million. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.